Good morning, YouTube. This is Enoch, and you are watching a very, very special episode of Enoch Does Minecraft. I say this is a very, very special episode because we just did a very special episode last week. Literally, I recorded it literally the day before 1.17 dropped. I wasn't paying much attention to what was coming up in Minecraft. I was just having fun and enjoying myself and didn't see it coming. To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't really look at 1.17 and what it was coming and what was going to be in the update. So I was rather surprised when it happened. Now I find myself having gotten, almost a week of it, learning about it, figuring out what's there. Now you might notice, Enoch, this isn't where we left you, and that's because this is a different one of my worlds. This is my own personal exploration world where I like to have fun, and yeah, so I'm up on the top of this mountain. That's actually my house right there. I absconded that house because it looked really cool, and I decided that was going to be mine. Yeah, so first off, we're going to be looking at a few of the features that came out in 1.17. I'm not going to do what a lot of people did and just sort of stack them all out so you could see, oh, this is all the different forms of this and that and everything else. No, I'm going to show you pretty much what I've enjoyed so far out of this. This is, you remember a couple episodes ago, I said, Mojang, listen to me, please, understand, we need binoculars. Well, guess what they brought out in 1.17? That's right, we have this wonderful object right here in my hand, a spyglass. Now, a spyglass can be made using copper, one of the new materials that came out in 1.17, and amethyst, another piece that just came out. Putting them together, and you get this wonderful device. And you'll see, what's that over there? What is that? What is that? Let's check it out. Oh! Look at that! Is that a broken gate? That's something we can explore. That's interesting. Oh, and what's that? What's that over there? Oh, that's a pillager outpost over there. I actually didn't know what that was. I thought that was a village, but it turns out to be a pillager outpost. Weirdly designed one too, because they're not normally. Oh yeah, they are open in the center like that. They're just normally we're seeing them from down here. Right, this one's built partially into a hill. That's interesting. Yeah. So needless to say, as we get back into Enoch Does Minecraft's normal world, this is something that we're going to strive for. Now, what else can we see about the new 1.17 update? Well, let's take a look at my new house. Now, this is how I like to have. Some people have various forms of control over who comes into their house. Me, I like to use a couple trapdoors with a big pit. Yeah, that works for me. So this is the house. I made my enchanting room up here. It's just a little one so far, but it'll get bigger. I have that off-centered. I'm going to have to fix that. And my mine down. Now, there was a lot of new materials that came out. For example, deep slate, which is actually pretty dense and pretty awesome. There's lots of different forms of it. You can make it polished, and then, make it polished, and from there, deep slate bricks, which is like a lighter form of blackstone. But then you can make, deep slate tiles. I love this stuff so much, as you'll see really quickly here. This is what I did with my own little mine. I created this. This is the deep slate tile right here, and of course polished diorite. I keep getting diorite and andesite mixed up, their names, even though they look nothing alike. And my own I got a little bench and my own little workstation in here. And then on the other side here is my bedroom, which is sparsely furnished as well. It's just a bed. But yeah, I love this stone. It looks gorgeous. Mojang, next update, 1.18, you got to make this for everything. You got to be able to do this with all the different stones, because it's just awesome. They added a few new creatures, and I found one of them. I found an, what's it called again? axolotl or something like that. Anyway, I caught one, and I made him a little pond. He's alone for now, but I will find him friends. Absolutely. And you can see down there some amethyst blocks. And this stuff here, I can't remember what it's called. Cyrite, I think it is. Which only comes in geodes for the amethyst. So I'm going to show you how to get amethyst. Amethyst geodes are connected almost completely to water, I found. Now, I was told you could only find them in open water, but then as I was mining, I happened to find one connected to my mine. So this is a geode. Oh yeah, it makes little musical notes as you walk across it, which is kind of cool and makes me suddenly want to, you know, build an entire place built with the floors made out of this stuff. So this is a geode. A geode has an outer crust. In nature, these exist as well, though not nearly this size. You have different materials. The outer crust is made out of this smooth basalt, right, which is a nature block. And then under that outer crust, you have this here, which is calcite. That's what it's called, calcite, which is another nature block that I'm not sure you can do anything with other than it looks gorgeous. It's what I made my little pool out of, was these wonderful amethyst blocks. So this is the way, this is the way the crust looks here. Basalt, calcite, then amethyst blocks on the inside. Now, amethyst itself grows on this, and it grows specifically on, where's one of them that doesn't have anything? These are all sprouting stuff, which is actually kind of good. These here, which are not regular amethyst blocks. This is an amethyst growing block. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called budding amethyst. And it will grow if you leave it alone in different stages. You start like that, it goes to that. The third stage one around here somewhere? Oh, let's see. A third stage, but then it eventually becomes this fourth stage. Here, and when you break that, you get amethyst shards, which you can use from there. Now you can see what the budding block looks like compared to the non-budding block. Now, take that for more. If you break off the buds before they're ripe, you get nothing. And here's something interesting too. So you break an amethyst block, you get the amethyst. You break an amethyst budding block, you get nothing. That was with a diamond pick, just to prove it. So you get nothing if you break a budding block. So the only place you can grow amethyst is within a geode. You can't get budding blocks anywhere else, doing anything else. Oh, there's a third level one there. Whoops. How am I able to hit? Oh, there we go. So that's something to be very cautious of, because you don't want to be going around breaking all the budding blocks thinking you're going to be able to take those back with you to your base so you could have a little amethyst farm. As far as I know, the only way to get amethyst is to find a geode and farm the geode where it's at. So that's that for amethyst. You can see here, okay, they've changed the spawn rate a little bit. And think about this, the 1.17 is actually a really short update compared to what the 1.18 is going to be. This is the little precursor before they come out with new biomes and everything else. If you want to know about all that, there's many YouTubers out there that are in the know and have talked to devs and all of that, which are the developers. They're the ones you want to talk to. I am a pretty casual player, so I don't have all the in-crowd knowledge. One thing I have noticed, there's a couple things I've noticed. One thing I've noticed that I haven't heard many people talk about is the diversity in the our normal biomes. Like, it used to be, it would be all stone. Somebody's upset with me. Who's upset with me? See, this is how I do my mines now. Because if anything spawns in these little side passages that I'm doing, it don't matter, they can't get out. The way I used to do it was with, like, being flat, and then I'd do this, like this here, so nobody could get out. But then I had a bunch of the little tiny guys spawn, and they were able to fit through there. Oh, hello, there you are. Hi. Oh, poor guy can't get out. Aww. I feel sorry for you. Not really. But this way it works a lot better for me. Anyway, I start at 10, and I go down to 9, up to 13, I think it is. But yeah, that's how I do it. The diversity of it. It used to be all stone, and then you would have pockets of diorite. Yeah, pockets of diorite, pockets of andesite, and granite. You know, every once in a while. Lots of gravel, as normal, right? Now, it's almost like stone is the rarity. Because you can see here, there's actually a lot of stone in this bit. But you can see just how many different types of materials are constantly introspect. You look at this one tunnel. You've got some stone, a lot of the andesite, the diorite, I should say, diorite, andesite, a lot of this deep stone. This deep stone is everywhere when you get down to this level. It's really hard. Oh, and you got tough. That's this material here, which, again, I don't really see a use for as of yet. Maybe in 1.18 they'll have more of a use for it. Right now, it's just a nature material that has no recipes to my knowledge of this stuff. But I do love this deep slate. Another thing that I have noticed, like, you look how easy it is to break this stuff as normal. Right, I'm just going to do a little bit of mining here to show off a bit. But when you get to deep slate, that took significantly longer. Even with a diamond pick. I mean, admittedly, this is unbreaking. It doesn't have efficiency on it yet. But you see how long that takes to break? Why do I feel like there's something nearby here? Huh. Anyway, I'll be continuing that in a little bit. Another thing that I have noticed, first of all, the diversity, especially at lower levels, is insane. There is such a variety of materials, and you'll find that you don't just have tons of cobblestone. Like, you look at my supplies here, I've got, yes, tons of cobblestone, and I haven't tossed any cobblestone. This is just out of what I've dug out here. But I've gotten almost pretty close to equal cobbled deep slate. In fact, I'd say more cobbled deep slate, because think about all the deep slate I've used here to build my place, right? But then look how much diorite I've gotten. This is crazy. I have now tapped out my diorite, and look at the amount of andesite. It's insane. And then here's everything else. My tuff, my my dirt, my granite, my gravel, right? I mean, yeah, there's lots of different materials out there, But instead of it just being mostly cobblestone, diorite, and deep slate seems to have been almost equal here, which is crazy on toast. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, and there's a lot more that's with this update. There is a lot more out there to be seen. There's other materials, there's other, you know... also I want to talk to you about metals as well, which is another big thing. A huge, huge change that I personally adore. And that is, this is now raw iron. So when you mine out iron, you're not getting iron blocks, which always seemed a bit strange to me. That iron, you got iron blocks, and it didn't, you know, fortune didn't affect it, but it affected redstone. It affected everything else except for iron and gold. Iron and gold, you got blocks. Now, in the nether, you got gold nuggets, which was okay, and it was affected by fortune, which was cool. But now, I don't think I've got the gold ore either to show you what that looks like right now. Gold seems to have been a little in short supply in my current run through on this place, but you'll get to see it as we continue on. But now they all produce ores, right? And then the ores are affected by fortune, and they do melt down as normal. One iron ore, raw iron, produces one iron ingot as normal. But it's just a different model for it. And I approve. I totally approve. I approve of all the changes, actually, except for one. I have noticed, now I don't have the figures for this because I don't know how to do the commands that actually show you like how many uses you get out of all tools. But I have noticed something, and that is iron pickaxes break a lot faster than they used to. It seems like they just go through insanely quick. I don't know if they've made it so that, you know, different materials take more uses than one swing. I don't know if they've reduced the number of uses you get out of tools, but I have noticed that my iron pickaxes would just seem to just disintegrate after significantly less uses. So maybe again, somebody with a little bit more know-how on how to do the commands and all that in Minecraft could check this out and confirm or deny it. I don't know. I won't be the one doing it. But I can tell you that it does seem that way, that I would go through iron picks like candy. It just would not last. So something to keep an eye on. So we've got new ores. The copper is amazing. I love the copper so much. I'm actually going to cut over to another one of my worlds because I want to show you something that's really interesting about copper. Something that makes it completely unique to all other metals. Ready for this? Cutting to a different world in 3, 2, 1, pop. Welcome back. And we are in, yeah, I seem to like doing different designs in my different worlds. In this one here, like I have mining shafts off of each of these doors. And yeah, I wanted to show you something interesting about copper. So let's take you through this place. This one, I've got a Fortune 1 axe, and I'm really happy about that. I went and used the deep slate tile and the diorite in my tunnel just because I felt like it. And I've got like my portal and a shaft off of here, which is really cool. I haven't noticed a whole lot of change in the nether, but I haven't done a whole lot of exploration in the nether since this came out either. Copper, in the natural world, copper oxidizes. Now, oxidization, oh, this is something really cool. You can now put lava into cauldrons. And what that's good for is, because now, if you want to toss something, oh, look at that. I got a garbage disposal. Now, there's other stuff that we haven't even looked at yet, but I want to get back to what I'm talking about. Copper oxidizes. And so what oxidization means is that it changes as it's in an oxygen-rich environment, like the atmosphere. And it gets sort of like rust. Rust is a type of oxidization. Rust happens with iron. Copper turns green. So what they now have, whoops. Yeah, there's my trapdoors, guarding my place. Good boys. This is a copper block. Copper blocks look gorgeous. I think they look absolutely beautiful, especially with the black, and it's just sort of nice. What happened was I was in one of these villages, and Ashlyn told me about how she took over one of these little churches and made it her home. So I decided to make my own. And so I made it out of tile and copper. But you can see what copper does here. As it's been out longer, you can see how I built it by the age of the copper, is it slowly oxidizes. It's slowly turning green. Which I think is... Whoops. Fall down a cliff. I think it's absolutely gorgeous how it changes. Eventually it'll turn completely that green as it's oxidized. And it's almost like you can tell how long a structure's been built by how oxidized the copper is. I think that is an absolutely wonderful idea, and it's the first time. It's almost like a badge of honor. You know what? I've been doing this since, because look at how green my copper is. You can't fake that. That's what it looks like, right? I wonder, do I have any copper ore? No, I don't have any copper ore. Or I do not think. No, I do not. Because I was going to show that off for you guys. But I don't have it, so I can't do it. I've had like, a lot of metals in this. In this one. I've gotten very lucky. And as you can see, this is how I organize my stuff, by the way. I've finally got some ancient debris. One ancient debris. I've also noticed diamonds are a lot less populous. Again, I don't know if it's just my luck or what, but that's just the way it is. You know, this is a trick that I learned recently. So I got sick of like constantly moving my stuff around. So what I would do when I opened a container and I knew what I was going to put in it, I would basically do this. I would just drop one in each slot of where I wanted like my cobblestone to be. That way, when I go to drop my cobblestone in, I could just go like that and it would immediately pop into the right container. The right spaces. Right? So you just, like this, real simple, just right click if you're using a keyboard and mouse, and then when you're just putting it back in, and you'll know when it's full, because you won't be able to fit any more in there. And it'll pop back into your box. So just a little trick that I've enjoyed, right? Just shift, right click, pops it in. So you don't have to, I got way too much of this stuff. That looks much neater, so we're going to go with that. Yeah, so that's what I've got for you for the new 1.17 update. Now, like I said, there is a lot of things we haven't covered here. Right? There's the glow squid, which I've only encountered twice. Once just out in an ocean, and once, surprisingly enough, in just a water-filled place underground. I found one. And I killed that one, and that one produced a glowing ink sac, which you can use to make glowing signs and stuff like that, which is really cool, but I haven't really experimented with that very much. I've never been much of a sign guy anyway. So you'll have to figure that stuff out for yourself, or check out a YouTuber that goes through detailed everything. But as I said, I don't know if I've really seen anybody cover about how prolific the new materials have been, especially at lower levels, or the note about how it seems that iron pickaxes produce less hits, like have less uses. They could be all pickaxes, to be honest with you. It could be all tools, to be completely honest with you. Cows. Sorry, you guys that know... Whoa, that pig just teleported. Are you part Enderman? Are you an Enderman in disguise?
No.
I only killed him for leather, and I haven't gotten any leather. That sucks. Anyway, I love my little church. My little deep slate copper church. Looks beautiful. So there is a way to keep the copper from oxidizing, by the way. If you get yourself some honeycomb, you can literally wax the copper with the honeycomb, keeping it at whatever state of oxidization it's at. And to tell you the truth, I'd probably rather keep it like that for this structure, because it looks better when it's all bright and shiny compared to the black. That's my opinion. Yeah, and then I got my bed on this level, and then the top. That was sad. Ugh. I think I'll take the second take and pretend the first one didn't happen. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as I stand at the top of my church, looking out over my congregation, I'd like to say, you're loved. You are cherished. And you are awesome. Always remember this. Live that in your life every day. Because I think there'd be a lot less depression, a lot less pain, and a lot less hurt in this world if we all remembered just how loved and cherished we really are. There isn't a person out there who isn't loved and cherished by somebody. Remember that. Because you are awesome. God bless.